Yes, yes. The boys are back. You are now tuned in to Knock 'em Out the Box, episode 124.
124 en SAP.
My name is Vinnie Paz. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic, left, right, left kid, Mr. Brendan Long. What's the word, kid?
Oh, I got some words.
He's making gross faces. I
Word,
hate this.
word
I
on
don't
the
know what-
word on the street is that there's a new album coming out. We got pre-orders launching on April the 3rd. Release date is 4/25/25. The single Battle Scars is streaming now, and the name of the record is
God Send Vengeance, Vinnie Paz, the third and final in the God trilogy.
Boom. Go get that.
Was that a sponsored like read or something? What'd you dudes do there?
Oh, we did. I think we did a
We
sponsor.
both should have done the voices in a quiet suburban town. Irish Billy is here with us again.
I know.
Hello.
I like this. I like this a lot.
He said the rumors on the street is he's going to cut his voluminous locks. For
Are
the
we
summer,
going-
baby.
They're
We know
hiding
about
under my Foyton's hat.
that. Right.
Are we going full buzz cut? Like,
No, I gotta have a little
A little something
to.
for the ladies to put their
Yeah.
fingers through, Billy.
Yeah, you gotta have a little.
I didn't know if you and the two boys were like doing crewies for the summer.
Crewies for the skinhead summer.
Yeah.
Proper reggae skins.
Yeah, just do some crewies.
That's what Gavin and the boys would do.
They would shave their heads for
Well,
the summer.
he bicks his head, but
Yeah,
the kids
yeah.
would just get the
Yeah, the
rocked.
crewy. Yeah.
My wife would kill me if I buzzed their head.
Yeah, they have glorious hair.
They do.
I had something to say and quickly forgot it. So yeah, what's up, y'all? How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing well out there. It is another month has flown by. Fights are getting made. News is happening here.
Still haven't made my vision board yet.
Are we diving? Are we doing?
Billy, you looked at me like I'm crazy. You never heard people do that? They talk about like, I'm going to make my vision board for the year. And we're a quarter way through, and I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
What my plans are.
Well,
They still say like, for 2025, it's like, well, I'm a quarter way through now.
Yeah, it goes too fast.
It goes
man.
too fast, man.
It's already by the time you guys hear this, April 2nd or something. when it
First, April
drops?
Fools.
When it drops, it's gonna be that. I
Oh
thought
no,
maybe the day
it'll
after.
be it. No, it'll be it. You're right. It'll be April.
Yeah.
April 2nd, the 2nd of April.
All right, Fernando Puma Martinez will defend his WBA super flyweight world title in a rematch with Kazuto Ioka on May 11th in Tokyo. I love that fight. I like.
Yo,
the
they're
first
making
one.
these things,
They're
running these
making it
back so
pop off
fast.
over there, B. We're going to get into the breakdown of the fight, but I think it should be news. Is that the fight we talked about and had a listener write in that
Yeah.
was sleeping on someone we couldn't find. No one added here.
Yeah, I pieced together highlights through YouTube and
That's
Twitter.
what I did. That's what I did. I had to piece it together to watch it. We'll get into that. But guys, yeah, the Angel Ayala Masamichi Yabuki IBF flyweight title in Japan was not here.
No,
So we had to, and we again, we're gonna get into it, but someone hit us up and said you guys are sleeping, and I tried to not explain, and said we're not. No, we don't think he stinks or anything. I express my concerns via the Twitter thing. We'll get into it when we get into it. But all right,
I just want to shout out to fans that really follow and point stuff like that out. So
it's great, man.
Yeah,
It's great.
Thank you guys.
It's great because there's a way. It's what I have to deal with and what I do with the music thing. There's always this tone to the way people write you where they're trying to correct you or be condescending. And the gentleman wasn't like that at all.
Not at all.
He was like, yo, don't sleep. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, no,
I
got you.
had another guy hit me up because blame me. I missed it because not because of anything. We didn't break down last week Bruce Carrington, Enrique Vivas, and Brian Norman and Derek Cuevas. I mean, not that we necessarily needed to, because let's be honest, these were fucking no-hopers.
That's more why when you brought it up to me, I was like, bro, you didn't really take an L because until people that we see as
Yeah.
well, in Brian Norman's case, he's actually a champion.
He's a champion.
We shouldn't be breaking down a no-hoper fight.
Right.
And with Tszyu, we both feel that because of his age, these are all things we're going to get into.
Right.
We didn't really miss anything per se.
I mean,
as far as
yeah, I
giving
mean,
you guys-
going forward, I mean, we don't necessarily need to break down it. We can just mention, and I forgot to mention that it was on the schedule.
Got you.
Yeah.
This is good news, even though it was, something that happened over there, but we felt it went horribly. The IBF has officially ordered a rematch between Lewis Crocker and Patty Donovan with the first fight to take.
They're so inconsistent, the IBF. They'll strip you for whatever, and then now they take a DQ and they.
Well, I want to talk about something very funny. That's a couple news bits down with the IBF that's going to really crack you up. So yeah, right, B. So the fights to take place in the next 120 days. Donovan was controversially disqualified in their first fight. You and I thought it was just abhorrent.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, this is just me watching at home like you guys. Of course, we weren't there.
Yeah.
The crowd was raucous. The referee was way far away. I don't think he heard the sticks, and he just kept fighting after the bell. Landed a shot, and to me, sort of felt like he got Montel Griffined, where the guy's in writhing pain, dying, and then a few seconds later, he's like, yeah, we won.
Yeah, well, another thing big for you and I, he was laying hands on that man, and we knew where it was going, and they were looking for a way out, and they got it.
Yes, and they got it.
So running it back is really the best for everyone, involved, except you're losing the fight camp to where he could be fighting someone better, I guess. This is I won't and I don't use the word shocking on this show anymore because there's nothing shocking in boxing. So we need to come up with a word for it when something comes up that, Deontay Wilder will return to face Tyrell Herndon in a heavyweight clash on June 27th in Wichita, Kansas. Who is sanctioning this? I want to know if this is even PBC. Is this going to be on YouTube?
He's not. I don't think he's not affiliated with PBC anymore, is he?
I don't think he is. Tyrell Herndon got chinned by F.A. Ajagba like 7-8 years ago. Richard Torres packed him up in 2023. There's some guys I never heard of that chinned him in the first. Basically, as I did before the Hellenius fight, when this comes to be in June, I'm just going to go, Wilder's going to get chinned. Wilder's going to get, that's just my prediction until he retires, because it's really about getting clipped. I don't know what the long game would be. Okay, you spark out Tyrell Herndon in June. Who do you think you're going to get in there with that's not going to put you in a coma or have you in a bad place?
39 years old. He's lost 1, 2, 3, 4 of his last 5. 3 of which by
ugly
stoppage.
Yeah.
The
drop is from your own camp and yourself is that you've made more money than you can spend. So what is it then?
What is it? Is it trying to trace glory? I mean, this is rough. Wichita, Kansas. I'm going to look up the Charles Koch Arena. I just want to see what we're in for. Well, yeah, what is it like? Is that where like the Jayhawks play? Like, I mean,
I could safely ask you this without sarcasm. Do you think this will even be televised? Unless
I don't know.
It's on it.
It says it's a huge sporting venue inside Koch Arena. What is Koch Arena? Is that where Wichita State? Oh, it's Wichita State. Okay.
That's where they play?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, it's got to be what, 12,000 people?
10,000.
Yeah.
Okay. 10-5. Okay.
He's from I don't know how far that is from where his
Tuscaloosa?
Yeah. I'm that part of the country geographically I'm bad with, even though I've been through it. I drove through Kansas and I don't want to do that again, let alone stop.
Dude, it's 12 hours away by car.
Yeah, I mean, he's from Tuscaloosa. How far is that to Kansas? I have no idea.
To Wichita, it's a 12-hour drive.
Oh, they meant from us.
No, from
Yeah,
fucking.
so what are you doing? The best you could do with Wilder is to have that in Tuscaloosa. If you're trying to do what he's trying to do,
bring him home.
they probably wouldn't fucking sanction him.
Hmm.
Matchroom Boxing has won the purse bids for the WBC interim flyweight title between Galal Yafai and Francisco Rodriguez with a bid of $222,222. That's a rough go of things, man. The winner is the mandatory challenger to unified champion Kenshiro Taraji, who could conceivably, he's hovering in our top, right outside of our top 10. He cracked it, guys. You could go to our page to see our top 10. But
I keep forgetting that Yafai is 32.
Me too.
9 fights.
Me too. Super welter contenders Charles Conwell, our guy. This is our guy.
Yep.
And Jorge Garcia Perez will clash on April 19th on DAZN. Look, Perez is 32-4, 26 KOs. He can legit crack, but he's not on.
That's a golden boy card.
Yeah, because I think the Fundora's sister is the headliner.
Okay.
Again, you and I talk about two things on this show: activity mattering and guys that no one will fight. No one wants to fight Charles Conwell because he's all risk, no reward. We think he might be the best guy there. We haven't said that. You know how sometimes we stand things, but we think he might be the best guy at 54. I'm not, you name any guy at 54, and I'm not saying, oh yeah, they definitely beat Charles Conwell. But so here's my issue. We give a lot of leeway when a guy's active. He's staying active, Charles Conwell, and no one wants to fight him. So really, you could do nothing but give him a pat on the shoulder. He just fought kind of recently. He's fighting again when this airs a couple weeks. But who and when is Oscar gonna be able to get one of these guys to fight him, Brendan?
I don't know. We said I'd like to see him in there with Jesus Ramos.
Guys, Charles Conwell's really good. Jesus Ramos is the fight to make. I don't know if Oscar's willing to.
Well, is Jesus Ramos a PBC guy?
Or is he, or is he just kind of like, I don't know if he's signed to them or if he's a floater, you know, like how Tevin Farmer is.
Right. He fights on their cards.
He fights on their cards. Right.
So he's got to be a PBC guy.
Okay. So yeah. So guys, it's tricky there. I'm really happy that Charles Conwell's staying busy and that Oscar's keeping him busy. Jorge Garcia Perez is tough and he can crack, but Charles Conwell's on another level, in my opinion. This is just bad shit here. I think we mentioned it in passing on the show and kind of hoped there wasn't any validity to it, and there is. Speaking of the IBF has now confirmed that Derek Chisora is the mandatory challenger for Daniel Dubois, and that the sanctioning body will formally order the bout on April 22nd. However, a unification fight with Usyk would take precedence. B, help me out here. Is this poor wording on their part? Will formally order the bout on April 22nd, not for it to happen on the 22nd. That's when they need to make. That's 3 weeks. Right? So that's poor wording on their part.
Sure.
Correct? Or am I bugging? Or
no, I don't think so. Reread it.
That sounds to me as if the implication is they're making the fight for April 22nd.
Reread that.
The IBF has now confirmed that Derek Chisora is the mandatory challenger for Daniel Dubois, and that the sanctioning body will formally order the bout on April 22nd.
No, they're gonna say this is the sanctioning body. This is what's going to happen. He has to. They're giving like a forewarning to a warning.
Right, and then that will probably be 90 days or something from that. So, guys, on April 22nd, they're either going to make a Derek Chisora, Daniel Dubois fight, which is just a mockery.
Right.
You're making a mockery of the sport if you make
that's not going to happen in 3 weeks. So what they're doing is that's when the announcement will be.
Yes, they're making an announcement, guys.
They're
in a
letting
couple
them
weeks.
get ready to like find a venue, do this, do
Yeah,
whatever, you know, or agree to it, or come up with something better.
yeah.
But so what this means is there's a possibility that Derek Chisora gets step aside money from the
sure,
IBF if
absolutely.
I mean he won. I guess he won his last time out,
I
right?
mean, yeah. It's just I don't. I mean, yo, man, they love him. Like
Love him.
love him. I I don't understand wanting to see a guy get a beating for his last
Yeah, I
fight.
don't know.
You know how more glorious is it to go out the way he just did as an underdog
Right,
in his home country?
right. Yeah, no, there's no better way. That's it.
He's been given how many paydays? He fought Fury twice or
Yeah,
three
yeah,
times?
3 times. I thought that the Fury fight was like, going to be his last thing. Remember, it was like, oh,
You
I'm
said
giving
on
my
the air, this is an old friend giving an old friend
yeah.
a payday, a bag as a,
I mean, that was 2022.
right. And we said it then.
God fucking
That's his,
damn it.
yeah, this is your consolation prize for being a
Yeah,
good guy, a good sparring partner. We like each other. Yeah. Um, More IBF news. The IBF ordered Martin Bakoli to face Efe Ajagba in an IBF final eliminator. Bakoli withdrew from that in order to face Joseph Parker, disqualifying himself from the eliminator, which I brought up, and our answer was we don't know. Because I said he shouldn't be. Well,
right,
you just got beat up. Now you still hold
right.
that. So I was very upset with that. But well, we didn't know. No one said anything about it. Certainly not that night. Disqualifying himself from the eliminator, and now I'm good with that. Now, Bakoli and Ajagba are fighting each other in a non-eliminator. That part, you just did Ajagba dirty then.
Right. So now
Okay.
yeah, and that's
It should be the same way when a guy doesn't make weight. No, if Ajagba wins, he gets he wins the eliminator. But if Bakoli wins, no, because he made this other fight for a quick bag. Boop, boop, boop. No problem with getting a bag, but you can't.
I mean, he did a favor to Turkey.
Yeah. All right.
Save the card.
Yeah, he did. He did. Derek Chisora beat Joe Joyce and then beat Otto Wallin in an IBF eliminator for the number 2 spot. Now he's the mandatory because the guys were ordered to fight for the mandatory spot didn't want to do it. Also including Big Bang Jang and Caballel. So the IBF seemingly continues to follow its own rules until they don't. As previously stated with what you said. Did these guys, are they
consistently
by the book
inconsistent?
Or are they not? Yeah, it's very strange. Our guy, Liam Cameron has said that Boxer accidentally sent him a contract for a 12-round fight with Ben Whitaker, which he has signed. And now Boxer and Whitaker are trying to change it to a 10-round fight, but Cameron is refusing to budge. I like this guy. He's being an idiot, but I like him.
Nah, fuck him. They keep fucking with him.
They do, but I don't want him to overplay his hand to the point where they go, you know what?
I think we're going to do a new segment just called Liam Cameron.
Yeah, and what he's up to that week.
What he's up to. Yeah.
Yeah, that week.
Riding around in like a little car. I seen some footage of him. He's just kind of hanging out with his friends.
You sent me pictures, and all his homies are the Akis during Ramadan.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if Liam Cameron's Muslim. But
he has a crucifix tattooed on him, so I don't know.
Oh, does he? Okay, yeah. So he definitely hangs with the Akis.
Yeah. He's got a beard and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought he was, and then I saw but he could have converted.
Absolutely.
Or he could just have it for a show.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Tattoos are funny like that, right? You just,
Yeah, I mean, this Tank, took a shahada in Philly, changed his name formally, which he doesn't go by. He still goes by Javante and Tank and all that. And he wears crosses as Muslim chains.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Guys, all right. So Saturday, ESPN, Fountain Blue, Las Vegas. Really quick. This kid Emmanuel Chance was making his pro debut. He's from East Orange, Jersey. He's really good. He can fight on the inside, fight on the back foot, good punch selection. Want us to keep our eye on that kid. Pro debut. Okay. So
Pazzi prospects.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So he's definitely in line. We got to keep our eye for all these kids, these prospects.
Yeah, real quick, I got a little news. I don't know if you saw it.
Please.
Well, it looks like what we sort of predicted over the course of the last few weeks, or not
like
predicted
this.
or
I
said
like
was going to
this.
happen,
I
or
like this.
in a surprise twist and turn of events akin to the WCW and WWF
Oh no.
joining forces in the late 90s, Bob Arum has announced that he will be working with PBC to bring us much sought after matchups.
Did you
One
see
can,
the one promo where he's talking about Dana?
yeah,
Dana, and I'm working with the
yeah,
PBC.
to keep
Yeah.
Dana White and out of boxing. So, you know, we haven't heard anything about Loma in a while. I have a feeling we're either going to hear what we've been
Loma
saying.
Tank. Yeah.
It's either Loma Tank or Loma Nomaschenko in terms of I'm on a beach and I ain't
Yeah.
coming off of it.
Look, guys,
He's entitled
our
to it.
our prediction is tank or retirement. That's it for as
Right.
far as us.
So
If we get Lomachenko versus blank and that blank isn't Tank Davis, B and I are gonna A, be shocked, and
but
B,
it could
say
be
we were
another
wrong.
Davis. Keyshawn
I don't
versus Tank
know.
Davis.
Oh, oh, oh,
Keyshawn's a
oh, oh.
belt holder.
Oh, Keyshawn versus Tank, not Keyshawn
Davis,
versus Lomachenko.
no, Davis versus Davis. PBC versus. I kind of like this.
Okay, I'm not even thinking that way. Okay, okay. I thought you were bringing
Lightweight,
that up
lightweight
strictly for
title holders,
Lomachenko. I love that. I love
and
that
then
fight.
and then of course our guy Shakur gets frozen out again.
Frozen out again.
He
Again.
was with fucking Top Rank, and all he wanted was the guys from PBC. He leaves to go to Matchroom so that they can make
It's
those fights, and now
guys, if you don't believe in being too good for your own good, head over to Newark and then sit down with
right,
Shakur for a while.
right.
Um,
So I want you guys write us at kotbboxing@gmail.com and let us know what you think about Bob working with PBC. And as mentioned on this show last week, we killed PBC, but we were happy with the last that Fundora card, even though it was empty. We thought it looked nice. There's good fights on it.
absolutely.
So this could be.
When there's good fights,
So this
and
will
there's
all
not
be. By the way, this Top Rank thing with PBC, whatever they're
whatever
brewing,
yeah, yeah.
will be on Amazon.
Yes. Yes, because and guys, don't forget
Because
that the Top Rank deal with ESPN is
is
coming to
kaput.
an end in July or August.
Yeah.
It's up.
So now we're talking. There's a good possibility the end of the summer, early fall, we'll get some sort of a big fight. Hopefully between anybody out of those two factions would be nice.
Agreed. Yeah, and there's good guys there to make those fights. So hey, look, we talked about the crew of guys that we always thought was there was something, genuinely warm about it, that gave us hit us in the fields where all the kids from the Olympics, where Keyshawn would be there for Big Baby,
Yeah.
rooting for each other, and that crop of guys, they're always at either. Shakur will be there with them, Keyshawn, Big Baby,
Yeah.
those guys. So of that crop of kids that is kind of a crew, B and I have probably spoken the least about Tiger Johnson. We're doing if you don't have something nice to say about someone, don't say it at all.
Right.
When our hand was forced to cover him, we would go, he's there.
Yeah.
I like to use the word jag, just another guy.
That's another guy, right?
I believe this was his 14th fight. This is the first time I've
15th.
ever been impressed. This was his 15th. This is the first time I've ever been impressed by Tiger Johnson. Something very weird about it. As guys move up, B, and sometimes we imply, yes, you can absolutely outgrow a weight class, but sometimes it's laziness. When I saw he was moving up, I was like, this kid did nothing at the division before, and he's already moving up. He looked stronger. He looked better. He got a stoppage against the best guy that he's ever fought. So when you look best against the best guy,
he's 5'11".
Yeah.
So yeah.
But what I'm saying is, has this whole time, I looked at him as a bust. Like when there's a draft pick.
Yeah.
And you say this guy was drafted in the first round high, and he's not really doing anything. That's a bust to me. And can it happen in boxing? Yeah, there was nothing to say that about Tiger Johnson, because he's winning. He's winning.
Right.
Not impressively. He's not stopping or hurting anyone. It's not water cooler talk. He's not one of the guys on this show that we go, guys, go out of your way to watch this guy, or a Pazzi prospect or something like that. Look,
Right.
this is on paper his best challenger, and he destroyed him. So is there something here? Was he killing himself to make weight and not performing at a level?
Well, again,
talk to me about
jury's
this.
still out a little bit. That guy's ranked like, I don't know, 300. He's got 8 losses. I got to see a little more Tiger Johnson. I'm excited to see him at welterweight. I think there's room to move, in that division, room to break in, and opponents that he'll be competitive with that are names. So where I'm not totally sold yet, I was more impressed, to agree with you and to see your point. I want to see another. I mean, does that make me sound cynical? I want to see another fight at this weight with top 50 guy, maybe top 40 guy.
No, that doesn't make you cynical at all. And if I can just add on to what you said, end quickly. I don't want it in the fall. You packed him up. You barely
he looked
sweat.
He looked really much bigger.
He looked big.
Looked healthy.
His back. That's where I always, it's a no Diddy, but for real, no jokes. When you see that, when you would see Canelo with those smaller weights, you're like, look at this guy. This guy looks like I mean, look, Tiger Johnson just was moving different. Seemed to be, those shots had more mustard on him. Was he killing himself? Again, like you said, I don't think you're being
cynical
simply because we both haven't been impressed in 14 fights.
Right.
So the cynicism is deserved. That, all right, we want to see him back. We want to see him back in, I would say, I would like it to be two months. I like him.
Yeah, get him in there.
Get him back in there on a June card.
Yeah,
anywhere on the top rank card in June. And put him against, like you said, a guy that can handle himself. Top 50's fine. A guy who fought a couple good guys and lost to them. See what he can do in there. Emiliano Vargas, before we talk about this fight, have you kind of been paying attention? I don't think him and Keyshawn like each other, but for real. I don't know,
but Emiliano Vargas is good.
Not a WWE thing, B. I don't think they like each other. So I think, look, they both have around the same amount of fights. Keyshawn is a champion and is more.
Yeah.
And
this kid's only 20. Keyshawn's 26.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, he stopped Giovanni Gonzalez in the second round. Highlight reel, as our generation likes to say, Sports Center top 10, but no one covers boxing anymore. Brutal KO. Right uppercut, B.
Yeah.
Double right hook off of that. The left hook, night.
This was like his longest layoff from September to March.
It was.
He's been fighting pretty frequently. Made his debut in 2022. He's got 13 fights.
He's now 13-0 with 11 KOs.
I want to see him right back in there.
Me too. As quickly as we said with Tiger, if not quicker. At this rate.
And I know that this is cliche for pundits, like, whatever we call ourselves.
Yeah.
Guy just has a fight. When's the next fight? It's the first thing. Yeah. When's the next fight? So, but for this guy, I think they're treating him like a real prospect, moving him. Do you almost feel like shades of his father here?
I do.
Too young, move him too fast.
I think Nando is the reason we will see these kids moved the way they're moved.
Yeah.
Because look,
they throw him in with Tito and it changed them.
Look, you're fighting Winky Wright, Bazooka Corte,
right?
A prime Tito
at like 23.
At 23, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old. He fought Oscar when he was 25. And
Shane.
Sugar Jane. And you're thinking at 25 years old, right? Because me and Fernando are exactly the same age. We're only a month apart or something. I remember thinking, now it sounds crazy in retrospect when you think of his age, but he fought Oscar in 2002, and I'm like, he's a little bit over the hill now.
Old, 100%. Said the same thing. Like
25 years old. He might not have hit his 25th birthday yet when they fought. It might have been 24. turning 25 that year because this kid was in there at 19 versus real guys. Guys, Corte was great, guys.
Absolutely.
Winky Wright was great. Tito was a destroyer, guys. I mean, arguably the best Puerto Rican fighter ever.
Right.
Arguably. Look,
Right.
Fredo, not going to go down that. But so talk to me, B, about him, Emiliano Vargas.
I like him. I think he's fantastic. Every analyst,
good-looking kid.
Yeah.
All of that stuff, guys, that we talk about here on why people and the sport.
I mean, he does. He looks like a model.
No, he does. I mean that. When we say that, guys, I know it's a no Diddy joke, but that shit goes far. Look at Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
Because girls love him, because girls loved Oscar, he was able to attain this level of stardom where he was doing 1 million
crossover appeal,
crossover style,
yep.
Crossover appeal. Oscar did it. You would hear girls cheering. You would hear girl. So
sure,
it's not weird that we say and think that way. That a good-looking kid that's bilingual, and they don't speak. Bro, they're truly bilingual. They speak proper Mexican Spanish. Like Nando doesn't even speak English in the corner, bro. His corner work is all in Spanish.
Right.
So there's 3 or 4 brothers. They all fight. Emiliano
He's
looks
the best
like the one that's gonna be the guy.
He's the best one.
Agreed.
It's like it's the other ones are older. I think he's the baby. And I know that this sounds, and don't take this the wrong way because you have a lot of them, but no tattoos. You know, he's like a clean cut kid. This kid can, I think, like you said, good looking kid. He might sell us stuff, you know, in the future.
I agree. I think he's going to be. He's articulate in both languages.
Well, they had that reality show, remember? So I don't think that
I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I don't think that they're strangers to the lights.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this kid
they were
knows
walking into the ring with his father, who was selling out arenas. They're not. This isn't foreign to them. What's happening? They're well schooled, not just in there throwing hands. They're schooled to how do I deal with the media. Their father was Nando. Man, was a goon and a little bit rough around the edges. They used that to sell him, but I'm just saying to say he was.
Well, that was his whole thing. He was a little kid who could fight, and the story was he was beating up older kids. And I don't know if it was the Garcias or someone brought him to the Garcias.
Yeah,
I don't know if they found him or
Oxnard, kid. So guys, this kid's ready for superstardom. If the goods in the ring are what B and I think they are, he could be the next crossover guy.
And I don't think it's just us. I think that I think he's universally sort of looked at like, oh shit. Not only is he a fighter's kid, he's a really good fighter's kid, had an amateur career. It's not like we've never heard of him, and then all of a sudden, it's Tommy Hearns Jr., you know what I mean? Or Ronald Hearns, not Tommy,
Right, or Buddy McGirt Jr.
Right, where James Jr. he actually was a pretty good prospect. He won 2 gloves. But yeah, it's not like all of a sudden the kid, wait, where's this 25-year-old come from? And he's got like 12 fights, like you always say, like in Minnesota. And no, this kid's on cards fighting real guys.
Right.
So I think he's going to be good. I do. I think he's going to be really good.
So what do we do next with Emiliano Vargas? When is it time to? Do you?
I think keep him on an undercard for another like 18 months. I would say, and line him up. Step up the competition a little bit each time, and let's see if he can mow him down.
I'm ready to stamp him when he does someone this dirty that we know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Know or know of. This is a guy who fought well against blank, and then he hits him with a 4-punch combination, and he's snoring. I'm stamping him. He's hovering. He's very close, but Giovanni Gonzalez is not a world beater, and I'm not saying you have to be a world beater. To beat a world beater to be stamped a prospect. Abdullah Mason certainly hasn't. But does this person do this in style? He is doing it in style. 13 wins with 11 KOs is pretty much, you can't really do it much more in style than that.
Right.
Shushu Carrington, B. We have felt there have been some uneven performances. Jose and Enrique Vivas, featherweight. quick reminder. We like doing this reminder, B, that Shushu is 28 years old. We cannot do the thing
Yeah.
what we just did with Emiliano and
Right.
say, well, a couple more on the cards, move 'em a little bit slower. 18
No,
months,
Shushu's got to
that's
move, and he
gone.
wants to move now. So
Look, Vivas is arguably his best opponent and arguably his best win. Look, Shushu's very accurate when he's at his best, sniper like. Rev jumps in and stops it in the third after he took a beating in the second.
Yeah.
Vivas. I couldn't believe he let it go. Honestly,
I was a little surprised too.
when announcers scream "stop it," it's getting a little wild.
Yeah.
It's getting a little wild.
All right, so we got to I would say get him back on the next big top rank card. You know, that was at the Fountain Blue in Las Vegas. Bring him home again if they do something in New York. Where are we? We're in March.
Right now we're starting April, so
bring him back for Puerto Rican Day again. So that's 2 months from now.
Yeah,
the jump off is like the first weekend in June. All right, so realistically, 8 weeks. Bring him back.
I thought it was an impressive win, but I'd remiss if I didn't say this, and just I'll say it and you respond, okay? He gets hit clean with right hands.
Certainly.
Are you concerned, or is that I got this guy? I don't feel
no. It's concerning. You know, again, fan favorite. I told you I'm not super high on Shushu really breaking through and becoming a. You know, he's too old. I think he's too old. That's just my own opinion. I mean, look,
there's some.
Does he beat Steph Fulton? Can they get him like a?
Does he beat Nick Ball?
I don't know. Tell you the truth, I don't know. Nick Ball beat Ray Ford, and
they make Shushu Carrington Nick Ball this weekend. What's your pick? It's this Friday. It's this
Ball.
Saturday. They make Shushu Carrington Cool Boy Steph this weekend.
Steph.
They make Shushu Carrington Monster Inoue this weekend.
Well, come on, what are we doing? Let's not get crazy.
Okay.
You're getting a little crazy here.
I'm a little bit nuts.
I don't want to see the kid hurt.
Bryan Norman Jr. versus Derek Cuevas.
That was a no-hoper in Cuevas. Sorry. I know the guy, another very respectful guy tweeted to me that, you know, we didn't cover it. He was interested in our thoughts. I gave him my thoughts. I said it's a not going to rust off. Cuevas had some questionable losses on his record against guys with a lot of losses. You know, like a UD in a six rounder that he lost. Norman Jr. can punch. He's strong. He's big. Another guy who gets hit too much.
Look, Cuevas gets a title shot off a 16-month layoff, and his last opponent was a guy named Marlon Aguas. I don't know who that is. It's wild.
I mean, so
we got.
I guess if you're a title holder, you know, you got to defend the belt, right? And
I guess. Look, Cuevas was dropped in the third round. He got up. He was fine. By fine, I mean capable of going on. He just quit. He just quit. I didn't realize something. I didn't realize that Bryan Norman was that fucking country. I mean, he's another level of country.
Yeah. Where are they from again?
From Georgia.
Somewhere in Virginia. Oh, they're from. Oh, right. They're from Decatur, right?
Yeah, maybe. Look, I don't see anything in his game that indicates that he can beat guys like Boots or Stanionis, and they're the two guys there. The rest of the division is pretty pedestrian. So if Boots goes to 54, which seems to be the plan, I guess it's wide open. Do you agree or disagree with me there? I mean, you're talking about the championship's got to defend. It's like, okay, so.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out in 2 weeks what Boots wants to do.
Okay, yes.
And what Stanionis wants to do.
So whoever wins that, do they say, I want to pack up this guy, Bryan Norman, and unify? And
what they should do.
And then, I mean, that's what
we want. Well, that's what Boots' intention was by not taking the Virgil Ortiz fight that was thrown in his lap. He could have fought Virgil Ortiz on February 22nd.
Who has the fourth belt at 47? And why is it slipping my mind? Because
Norman, Stanionis, Boots, and who else?
Does Boots have two? Or does Stanionis have 2 and there's just 3 guys with belts instead of 4? Oh, Barrios. Doesn't Mario Barrios have a belt at
Yes,
47?
that's the other guy.
So
Barrios.
what are they going to do there?
He's a PBC guy.
Correct, but if Bob's willing to play
Then it'll be
ball with
Norman
him,
Barrios.
it'll be
That's what he
Norman
should do.
Barrios.
But Norman is actually oh no, Jolene Mazzone just manages him.
Look, I'm going to say this right now. Next should be Brian Norman Jr., Mario Barrios. Next, and unify those 2.
I like it.
And you're making it easy for whoever wins in the next couple of weeks. Then you have 2 guys with 2 belts if you make that fight, right?
I like it. That's smart.
You feel me?
I feel you.
Do you see?
I smell you.
Do you see a reason to not make Brian Norman Jr. Mario Barrios? If they're
if they're going to work together, they have to make that fight.
He said it. That fight should be next, guys. There's no.
I'm picking Brian Norman in that fight.
I am too.
He kicks Barrios' ass.
I am too.
I actually think he stops him as quick as he stopped Cuevas. How tall is Norman? He seems like a big guy.
He's a big welter, man.
He's a big
welter. He's not very likable, by the way. Can I add that?
No.
I'm just being
only 5'8". I thought he was bigger than that.
Yeah, but you know how that works, bro. When everything comparatively, someone looks like a monster because they're in there with someone.
Yeah,
147, 5'8". That's still a pretty tall welter.
Sure.
All things considered. You know, Tommy.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah. I'm what happens is when a guy's really good and unlikable, I always make it a way of working my way around that somehow. Or
gotta separate it.
Yeah. I don't see any indication that he beats Stanionis or Boots, but it looks to me like this is gonna be wide open soon. I don't know how old Brian Norman is. I know
24.
his pop isn't old, so he's got to be young.
24.
Yeah, he's a kid. So, I mean, he can get better, and all those guys are going to be out of there by the time he hits his prime. If
you got to separate the art from the artist, you know?
Yeah, I think he's a solid prize fighter.
I concur.
Also, Saturday night, The Zone, Cancun, Mexico. Corey Erdman and Sergio Mora on the call. There's Claudia Trejo joins them later. The Pits. Look, if she's working corners and interviewing fighters in the back, no problem. She should not be calling professional prize fights. Okay?
Doing blow by blow, you mean?
Yes. She was the 3rd person for the main card. We don't need that.
Erdman does the blow by blow. She's doing color, yeah.
Well, whatever it's called when you're the 3rd, because it's like Sergio doing color and then she's what?
Yeah, usually they have 2 color, yeah.
Robin Safar, 17-0, 12 KOs. Roberto Silva. This is a cruiser. Safar beat Kovalev and dropped him in that last fight in Riyadh. Look, the fight at cruiserweight is Jay Apathy, Zordo. We've been saying it over and over and over again. This kid is good, and he's giving a typically barren division a little depth. It's like is something we could say when we go, it's a 2-man division. Maybe it's not. He plays with his food a little bit too much for my liking, B. That's just a pet peeve of mine. But who am I? He let his hands go in the 5th and stopped Silva. So that's an example of me saying this guy plays with his food, and I'm proven right, not wrong, because he lets his shit go and he stops the guy. Joselito Velasquez, 21-1, 13 KOs versus Adolfo Castillo, 12-4-2, 115-pounders, B. Just wanted to say real quick, if you put this fight on, had no idea who was who, knew nothing about the fight, you think Adolfo Castillo was the contender. Visually speaking, he looks more polished, more well-schooled. This is why this is the best sport in the world. Joselito Velasquez was the favorite, and these divisions are so loaded with talent, that a 12-4-2 guy can be a nightmare for somebody who is looked at as, this guy's really good, and he is. Look, Velasquez come forward guy, wants to fight, good jab, lots of head feints, puts 3 and 4 punch combinations behind that jab, throws a short, crisp right hand, but then he'll loop it to catch you when you think you have, all right, I have this time. That we call it the triple G, that cupping shot, we always
punch,
G. He punches around your guard almost, but successfully. To do that's tricky. To get around a tight guard, with a shot is very tricky. G did it. This kid, Velasquez, did it. Constant headbutts. The constant headbutts had Velasquez busted open over both eyes. Castillo was deducted a point for leading with the head. Every time Josecito Velasquez threw a left to the body, Adolfo Castillo would freeze and be visibly hurt. Look, as a fighter, you're in there looking for openings, setting up shots. In my opinion, it's your corner's job to assess what's happening in there and tell him what's working. Tell him you're killing him with that hook to the body. But they said nothing. Look, I have no way to prove this, B. There's nothing to prove it. But I'm confident in saying that if he keeps going downstairs, he packs him up. We'll never know. I like for boxing coach Marcos to write us in and tell us, when you see something like that, do you feel like your charge should see what you're seeing? Or do you make it your obligation to go, my guy, every time you're fucking banging him to the body with that left hook, he's fucking freezing and hurt? Am I off base?
Maybe the guy don't like the return fire is the only thing I gotta say. You know what I mean? If you go to the body,
like what's coming back at him,
or afraid of it, or got, we talk about.
When you said another guy, do you mean the fighter or the coach? Like, yo,
the fighter.
Okay.
The fighter.
Maybe the coach says, yo, he does land that, but something big's coming back up.
Yeah, but I think it's more the
fighter didn't like what was coming back at him when he threw that right.
And it's a reflex not to do it because this is what happens.
Yeah, we'll never know. I had it 97-92 for Joselito Vasquez over a very tough, very good, very game Adolfo Castillo. The fight was closer than my card, but because there was those close rounds, judges had it 100-89 twice. That's a bad card, guys. And 97-92. He's top 10 in all the sanctioning bodies, B. So fights with guys like Bam, Fernando Martinez, Estrada, Fumalele Cafu, Kosei Tanaka, they're all out there and they will be great because this guy's fun. What did you think?
The scores it's just
100.
Yeah.
10,
we're seeing a lot of this. I don't know.
And we're seeing a lot of it and no one's talking about it. It's like this. You didn't give this guy one round, this very good, capable guy.
It's weird.
Okay.
Scores are filled out ahead of time. Again, lower undercard of a guy at a jockey weight. No one cares about it. It goes under the radar.
No one cares.
And I'm curious if in terms of corruption, betting, etc., what they do, what they say, who's going to leverage the belt for which promoter, get another guy on the card as a belt holder to get a fee. Not to go too inside baseball on this stuff, but all those come into play when a guy has such a wide card like that in what looks like a closer fight. So
yeah. Look, another person we've stamped on this show, Oscar El Pupito Collazo, Edwin Caño, 13-2. This is the WBA, WBO, and Ring Magazine minimum weight titles. Oscar Collazo cracked our pound for pound list and was knocked off by no fault of his own, guys.
Yeah. Well, he's knocking at the door again after this.
Yes. He and Kenshiro Taraji are right there, guys. B, remember at one point you would say often on this show, very often, almost every week, Cool Boy Steph is my favorite guy to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't saying he's number one. You weren't saying your favorite. Not that he was the best, not that he's the pound for pound king. You just enjoyed watching him fight the most.
Yeah.
That's Oscar Collazo for me. What a fighter this kid is. Offensive dynamo, slick defense, fluid. Looks like he's dancing and floating. Smartest and most creative punch selection today. Elite footwork, destructive body shots. Will walk you down, then allow you to think you're leading the dance. Stop dead in his tracks and crack you with an uppercut.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. And
a lot of good decoys. A lot of good
decoys, fainting.
He does Jersey Joe walk away,
Beautiful stuff. At no point was this kid Edwin Caño in there. At no point.
No.
Look, fifth round KO from a perfect right hook to the body, packed him up. I've said this before, but this kid has everything. We just spoke about Emiliano Vargas. It's going to be easier because he's in the higher weights. But look, everything it takes to be a star. Good looking kid, bilingual, humble. Most importantly, a great, not good, a great fighter. If Golden Boy needs to roll the dice, B, and spend a little bit more money to promote him, they should.
They
in
should
my
try.
opinion, because you cannot get someone
The only issue
at
with this
minimum
guy,
weight.
and unfortunately, is that he was born small.
I think that if you put enough promotion behind him, the machine that we talk about in the music, you know what I mean? How
Yeah.
did this guy blow up and this guy didn't? Well, maybe the source, they had every source magazine, you had an ad and you start going, who the fuck is this guy?
Who's made men?
Yeah, yeah.
Who was made
Remember
men?
Human Rec was in the source for like
Yeah.
all of our high school?
Yeah.
The guy was in 4 years of high school. This guy's in every source
In
magazine.
every source
48
magazine. Yeah.
episodes in a row. He was down with Death Squad. And you were like, who is he? You know, look, you put a little bit more money. Is it risky? It's always risky when it's someone that's not welter and above. They're not, these aren't glamour divisions. The kid's
Right.
got everything. I mean, to me, you know,
He's incredible. He's fun to watch. I just don't like white gloves.
excuse me. Remember years ago, when we first started, I used to say, look, because of politics, who he fought, this loss, da da da. We have Lomachenko at this number in our pound for pound, but it's my opinion that he's the best fighter in the world. Remember in earlier episodes, I'm pretty close to saying that about Oscar Collazo. I'm not yet, but if this keeps happening, a couple more fights against real guys, because everyone can fight down there, real contenders or other champions, you know, and he wants to be the first person in the 4-belt era to do that from PR. Bring him to Puerto Rico, bro, next. Bring him to the island.
Yeah, I concur.
You have a potential star fighting in
They
Mexico.
I mean, if he's willing, get him. Well, it's hard because he's a Golden Boy guy. You know, Top Rank does the Puerto Rican Day Parade show. You know,
hey man, look, Oscar and Bob are always on the.
Can they get him on a card now with PBC? Maybe. I don't know, but
I'm with you. I'm with you. Let's get him to unify down there. And when and if he does that, I'm going to say whether or not where he lands on our list is not.
It's the timing of this. I don't know. Okay.
That's my favorite person in the world, guys, to watch fight. There's nobody that I look forward to right now more than Oscar Collazo, El Pupito. That's my guy. What a nice kid. What a fighter. A great fighter. Guys, if you haven't seen him,
go watch him.
Go watch him.
He's all over YouTube. You can catch up. It's not a lot of fights. Catch up on him. He's really good.
Guys, the main event of the weekend.
Luis Alberto Lopez, Eduardo Montoya. Did you see that?
I didn't.
It's not even on BoxRec. It was a KO1.
So we spoke about it. We predicted that. We hoped that. And then we kind of said, well, do we hope for that? Because that means I'm doing air quotes, guys, back. So if he's back, I'm worried. And will he be granted a license in the U.S.?
Yeah, I don't know why this isn't on BoxRec, but like when you put it in.
They're probably like, we don't want to deal with that. We don't even want that on our hands.
Yeah,
I'm being honest, B. You said something about BoxRec before. I forget what it was.
Right here, I'm going to read the article. After suffering brain bleed, Luis Alberto Lopez returns with a win. He says Venado Lopez had the right style in front of him, make a strong, as Montoya seemed determined. Yeah, I mean, it's saying Montoya landed a pair of counter left hooks. Lopez looked to be struggling with his accuracy points. He swung wildly. And then an uppercut. Lopez switched up his attack, fired a left hook, dropped Montoya hard on the ropes. Instead of trying to play keep away, Montoya squared up, leaned in towards Lopez, inviting a left hook to the body, which put him down for a second time for the count. So why this isn't being reported, if anybody missed it, that's the result. I don't get the whole brain bleed thing here, there. A couple months later, you're back. Just doesn't seem safe. this is what's to me one of the things wrong with boxing. They're actually reporting on this stuff as like you said last week, like we'll see how he looks in a sport where you can die in. It's like throwing a guy out there in football, like, oh, we'll see how he takes the first couple of
The
hits.
first hit, and then he's
And,
chowder because he
yeah,
got hit. Yeah, this is guys. This
right,
isn't seeing what his velocity on his fastball is.
right,
This
right,
isn't
right,
that, guys. Like,
right,
oh yeah, Tommy John surgery. Still, if he's still throwing a fucking 100-mile-an-hour
right.
wild
It's
thing, Ricky
very
Vaughn.
strange sort of explanation to this. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
the explanation is we'll see if he croaks. We'll see if he taps out. It's wild.
weird.
Uh,
Um,
William Zepeda, 32
Tevin
and 0,
Farmer.
27 knockouts versus Tevin Farmer, Philadelphia, 33 and 7. WBC interim lightweight title. Guys, we got to stop with this. Um, what's else this? Guys, we got to stop with this. I had Tevin Farmer winning the first fight, guys, 95-94. I believe B had it a draw or 95-94
I
for
had no,
Zepeda.
yeah, for Zepeda with the knockdown. Yeah.
So fair
What'd
score.
you have? What'd you have this one?
Okay, so I'll get to that. But Vegas, I don't know if you saw this. You didn't text me. So I go, maybe he didn't see this, or maybe he's out with V and the kids. Vegas gave Farmer zero respect, had Zepeda at minus 900.
Yeah.
9-1, which is insane. B, talk to me about that real quick before we go.
I think that they thought the first fight was a fluke.
They had to, right?
Yeah.
They legitimately
I mean,
had to say that
he won again. So they're not,
right. They don't look crazy as we
Right.
are saying. How is a guy who arguably lost their first fight a 9-1 favorite? I don't know. You just said it. It was a fluke. And
Yeah,
then
it gotta
they
be
think
a
he won
fluke.
this time. So they think Vegas, they go, we're
Right.
right. You're wrong. You're idiots. Regardless, they're both legit top 10 guys at 30.
Sure.
That's absolutely no debate there.
Farmer said he's hurt.
Look,
after
he
the
broke
fight.
his left arm or hand in the very first round. It wasn't 2 or 3, as some other people say. Go back and watch it again. This guy's one-handed after round 1. It changes everything. I don't have to tell you guys that. If you listen to this show, you love boxing. If you love
Right.
boxing, you know what it means to hurt your arm, elbow, or hand, or all 3 in the first round. Zepeda's throwing tons of punches. Farmer bites down on his mouthpiece and starts firing that broken paw, B. Zepeda did what you do when you have an injured guy in front of you. Just keep moving your hands.
Right.
Thing is, Tevin is so crafty, even with one arm, he'd walk Zepeda in the shots and sting him.
Yeah.
What heart displayed by Tevin Farmer. He hurt Zepeda bad in that 12th, which looked like it was going to be a rocky moment. Just an unreal display of resolve. You asked me my scorecard. I had it 115, 113, William Zepeda. But for me, B, please respond to this because this is a bit of a bold claim. For me, in these 2 fights, Tevin Farmer's stock has gone up and William Zepeda's stock has gone down.
Gone down. I concur. I actually had it like 7-5, 8-4 Zepeda. You know what I mean?
So around mine.
Yeah.
This is against a one-armed guy.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Like again, I have to just score it as I see it. I'm trying to take my bias out of it because I'm a big Tevin Farmer fan.
Understood. As am I. I said it. I know him personally in real life. It's very tough.
I don't know how it was a split. I'm kind of confused by that card. I thought it was. I was wrong. My prediction was wrong. I predicted Farmer winning the fight.
Yeah, I predicted Farmer winning and getting robbed.
But
we were both wrong.
Right.
But it was good. I mean, this
good
is
fight.
Tremendous amount of resolve and heart shown by a guy. He could have.
Sure.
There was what was that? The 5th B where it was really bad, and he could have.
Yeah.
Look, my shit is broken, bro.
Broken. I quit.
I gotta. I want to live. I don't want to get hit in the head.
I don't know what they're gonna do with Zepeda.
I don't either. I think anyone at 35.
I want to see Zepeda against not a slippery guy next, just to kind of see like, all right, is there a style that's tough for him?
Well, see, that's my notes. I said anyone at 135 that gives angles and it can move a little bit is going to give him a nightmare. So you'd like to see him with a guy who
for myself, I don't know if they're going to do that. This is me just to have a a contrast, someone with a contrasting style. I hope Tevin Farmer heals up. I didn't think it was a robbery. I had Zepeda winning.
I think he should be rewarded with another big fight, a healthy Tevin Farmer. That's just my
I'd
personal
also
opinion.
I want to see him with a get back though. Put him on an undercard. Let's showcase
Tev?
him. Yeah.
Okay.
So if they're going to do that, he's got 8 losses.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so he might not have time. It's up to him, really, what he wants to do, what he's comfortable doing. I hope he got a good payday for this. Anyway,
So
Zepeda definitely
so
lost some stock.
so do you, when you say you want to see him in there with what you said, do you mean a guy with the kind of style you're talking about
If
that's
they're not going
really
to make
good?
if they're not going to make Shakur next, right?
They better keep him far away from
Well, that
Shakur.
was
And
the
these
fight.
two, I know, but something happened, and this is giving you on a platter. What would they just went 22 rounds? If you want to see what would happen in William Zepeda versus 20 versus Shakur Stevenson, you just had 22 rounds to see what it's like, but on steroids.
Yeah. No, Shakur beats him bad. Bad.
Look, I think you got to put Zepeda in there with Tank, Keyshawn, Shakur, Raymond Morataya.
He's got to fight I mean,
He's got to fight somebody.
Morataya is a top rank guy, right? We established that. I keep getting it fucking confused. He's a top rank guy.
Here's the thing.
See, this is where it's weird because of the the various promoters. Who's working with who?
Look, we at one point said Oscar and Bob are down to work with each other. Then the next
Right.
thing comes around, and then they're not. If Morataya is with top rank, you make and they're
Sure.
cool. You make Morataya Zepeda. It's the
I'd like to see that.
Me too. Me too. And I don't
Good
think
crossroads.
I don't know where. Look, this is a fight where this is a sport where we talk about losses aren't the end of you, et cetera, and they're not. But is a one-side destruction, a lopsided 12-round ass whipping bad for you? I don't know if you're Zepeda. If you come back from that and you start becoming like a John Molina, in wars, and you get good paydays, or a lower tier Arturo Gotti, where you have some losses, but you sell out the boardwalk hall because you're just this all action guy, which we know he is. He throws 10 million punches. His power is real.
Morataya, in fairness, is fighting Abdulayev next in May.
Yeah, he's good too.
Yeah, so let's see how that's a really good fight. Let's see how that shakes out. His lone losses to Devin Haney. Let's see how that shakes out. I'm interested in that. And then if he wins, I'd like to see what you're saying. Morataya, that's a great. I like that, Vinny. Morataya Zepeda.
The problem is
they're both fucking not kids anymore.
No, they're not.
Morataya's 28.
Right. And isn't Zepeda the same age?
Like 27.
Yeah. So look, guys, these guys got to fight real, each other. It's time to start fighting each other at that weight at 35. None of these guys are fighting each other. Like I said, Emiliano Vargas.
Oh no, he's 28 too. Zepeda's 28 too.
I thought so.
So look, we got
two guys in their prime. They both can fight.
With what you saw Keyshawn do in his last two fights, with come forward guys.
Yeah.
Does he beat up Zepeda too?
They beat the shit out of each other in a fight of the year type fight. What do we know about Zepeda's chin? Was he hurt when Tev knocked him down?
Seemed it. He seemed hurt to me. Got up, but I mean, he came back, but still. All right, moving on.
Previews.
Well, yeah, because we can't break down Angel Ayala, Masamichi Ibuki.
We picked Angel Angel Ayala. Yeah. There was a brutal head clash, guys. This could be top 5 bloodiest fights. Like B and I said, we had to piece it together via
I had to watch fucking YouTube. Highlights.
YouTube and Twitter.
YouTubes.
So, guys, it was a bloodbath. Angel Ayala was down a few times. He also did well. They were trading at points. War. Masamichi Ibuki. My concern was that I didn't know if going up to flyweight, his power would go up with him. It did. Not to the point where he walked through
Yeah.
Ayala. His stoppages moving forward might not be one hitter quitters. It might, it's a bloodbath. Yo, Angel Ayala is tough
as nails.
Nails, man. Does he have something to stand on to go, I want to run it back because that headbutt fucked everything up? I don't know. These smaller weights, it's Thunderdome, guys.
Facts.
It's Thunderdome. There's so many good people at Superfly. All of these guys can fight. Big respect to our listener that wrote us and said, yo, you're sleeping on Yabuki. I said, no, I just don't know him moving up. And he's a little bit long in the tooth for those weights. He's a young guy. He's 32, but that's old at those little weights where you're cutting weight all those years.
Right.
Well, I thought between those two things, Angel Ayala might win. This is a bloodbath, guys.
Bloodbath.
We don't know if look, the one feed above it said ESPN2, but it was in Spanish. So it wasn't our ESPN2. It must be like a Latino ESPN2.
Right.
So B and I had to watch it in clips. So I don't know. Hopefully the whole fight's aired on YouTube soon because I want to watch it beginning to end.
Me too.
You know what I mean? To piece together the good work. I saw Angel Ayala doing some good work, but he got dropped. There was blood everywhere. It looked fake. It looked like the one pick of them.
Hatchet wounds.
Yeah.
I like it.
Blood. Yeah.
All right.
There's a pic with them with their arms around each other that looks fake because there's so much
I
blood.
posted it on
Yeah, you did. That pic is hard. Luis Alberto Lopez, Eduardo Montoya, you covered that. We don't like it.
Don't like it.
If he doesn't get sanctioned by a real sanctioning body somewhere, we're worried about him. So we covered everything that needed to be covered as far as reviews.
Yeah, we're coming up.
Janabek Alamhanala.
You got it.
11 KOs. Guys,
Try this guy's name.
Alamhanala.
The next guy. Look who he's fighting.
That's not happening.
Look at the syllables in that fucking thing.
Ana Yuel in Gamasenge.
All right, well.
Anuel in Gamasenge.
So this is guys
14-0, 9 KOs. I think he's from the Congo, fighting out of France. We slept on this Bruno. Oh, this cousin Bruno, and he lands a right hand on this Jaime Munguia and puts him to bed.
You're saying an upset special?
I'm just look. This is what happens on this show, guys. We say, he's from France and made the French paisan, and he goes in there and chins him. Look,
Saturday the 5th, guys. This is on ESPN, I believe, right?
Yeah. Look, Alamhanala is very basic, strong as shit.
Big southpaw we haven't been impressed with lately, right?
Yeah,
that's
he doesn't do anything particularly well. He's just strong as shit. I don't know enough about Ngamasenge to say, yo, this guy's a live dog or anything about that. He fought 14 times and he won all 4 of them. I mean, look, at 60, why these guys aren't unifying is just beyond me because it's barren.
This division, this guy is ranked pretty high in the division, Ngamasenge.
So when you're ranked, you can't even murder Janabek for taking the fight because the guy's ranked highly. Right. He should be fighting Erislandy Lara.
Dude, what is Lara doing though?
I don't know. He's 900 years old. Look, Janabek's got IBF and WBO. He's got 2 of them. You got to be thinking in your head, I want to unify. I want to be the man here. Right. Can you not get who has another belt?
This is where belts matter, and
who
unifying.
Has the other one? Adames, B?
Mm-hmm.
So if he wins, can you make Alamhanala Carlos Adames? You gotta unify there. What's your pick, B?
Janabek decision.
I think Janabek wins, stinks it out, makes us go, this guy's killing us. He's brutal.
I'm gonna go UD Janabek. Boring fight.
Probably has a chin on him, I'm thinking.
Never been down. He's never been out, so.
I'm thinking he's got a chin on him. And it goes the distance in a stinker.
I mean,
Coming,
my only issue with this guy is his last fight was against a 12-32.
yeah, that's alarming.
That's alarming. And then the fight before that, then he fought this Polish guy who's like in the top 20.
I guess he took a stay busy fight to get to
Yeah,
this.
but in 2022 he fought an 8-40. Who's now
Wow.
9-46. Yeah, I mean, guys, it's okay.
Alan Mahanalak isn't young either. He's another guy who
Deceivingly old.
I believe.
Let's see.
I think he might be 32 years old. Wiley.
He is correct. He's
He
32.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's in his mind. And I mean, who is he with? Because where is this fight? He's with Top Rank still?
Yeah.
Is this airing on ESPN?
Yeah.
And where is it?
It's in it's in Buyers Arena and Astana in whatchamacallit, Kazakhstan.
So when is this airing? During the day on Saturday? I guess on ESPN Plus is my.
Done.
I'm guessing all of this in accordance
ESPN
to.
Plus.
All right, so that's going to be in the afternoon. Uh, Speaking of weird times, Tim Tszyu returns. B does not like this, guys. I want to
No.
meet. I want to make sure I say that for my friend, one of my
10
best friends.
a.m. So 10 a.m. I'm sorry, 10 a.m. the Janabek fight. According to Boxing Scene, this card starts at 10 a.m.
That's about 5 p.m. there.
in Kazakhstan. So that means
Yeah.
that's okay.
It's about 5 or 6 in Kazakhstan. That makes sense in theory.
Okay.
So B's right. The main event will probably be closer to the early afternoon.
Kazakhstan.
So I know it's literally where Borat's from.
Yeah.
Timmy Tszyu is coming back. B likes nothing about it. He says, I want Tim Tszyu nowhere near a gym or a boxing glove for a year. They did the opposite.
They're thumbing their noses at me.
They are, and it is giving me pause. I'm now saying, I hope this Brendan is wrong because you're making me worry. Hey, look, I talked about Joey Spencer, okay? And I said, B, they were building this kid up. He's like a Mitzau. He's from the middle of nowhere. It's easy to fight there. It's easy to win there. He got chinned. He got chinned by Jesus Ramos, which now doesn't look like
so
the
bad.
worst thing in the world. I'm not
But
saying
he had some bad performances.
he did. I'm just putting out there.
He's a wild man. Like, have you seen him fight, right?
I've seen more than a handful.
He's nuts. Like
I'm on record calling him a great white hope, and you were like, "Yeah, idiot, that would work if he was all white."
Yeah.
He's so I guess he's not white.
He's like a Tasmanian devil kind of fighter.
Yeah. He loops his shots, which
chin up, off balance, looking to fucking kill you. Yes. I'd love to have him on my side. Mm-hmm. If I'm in a bar, like Joey, go fucking get that guy.
Yeah, Joey Spencer. Joey Spencer, he knocked that fucking horse out.
But yeah, precisely. With that said, I this is in Australia, 10-rounder.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they're fighting Sunday afternoon there, so that that lands.
I got to go back. Okay, let's see.
I know. Look,
I wonder why no one watches.
You're always giving bad info, so I'm gonna try.
This says 9 p.m. Saturday. Now, is that 9 p.m. in Broadmeadow, Australia time?
I think it's 9 p.m. East Coast, U.S., and they're fighting in
9 p.m. Eastern. You're right.
On Sunday to get this and Timmy back eyes back on him.
Amazon Prime
in the U.S. on Amazon Prime for free.
You're correct.
That's my belief.
You are correct. That this card, guys, according to resources and sources that you can all look at, as Boxing Scene is my witness, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's 6 p.m. for you guys out west.
Out west. That's after. That's
9/8 Central.
It's
on
very
Amazon,
late for you guys in Europe, in the
yeah.
UK.
On Amazon Prime, you guys can tune in to see this.
Guys, 2 a.m. if you're in the UK and you want to watch Tim Tszyu and Joey
Yeah.
Spencer. If you're on a bender, throw
Right.
that on.
Look, sometimes you got to wonder about things, right? Tim Tszyu a year ago, huge name, right?
Yes.
Boxing scene's only listing this fight on as in terms of the bout sheet.
Yeah.
Boxing scene's only. I mean, I can go find the rest of the bout sheet on BoxRec, but boxing scene is not even listing the undercards on this.
How about a little Pazzi prediction?
Mm-hmm.
That's all the Amazon Prime shows. We turn this on at 9. There's Australian announcers talking about whatever happened there.
I don't know,
It's
man.
their feed, and we just see
Might be a fucking kangaroo fighting a circus clown
a
on
Roo.
stilts.
You think there's a Roo versus a bear on the
Maybe.
undercard?
I'll watch it.
Interspecies war.
Yeah.
Hey
The
man,
Tasmanian Devil is a referee.
if you're following Brendan's logic, Brendan's smarter than me. He's able to look at things more objectively than me. You're just watching this nervous as a Tim Tszyu fan.
Nervous.
That any right hand can chin him. This Joey Spencer kid is strong.
Hungry. This is a life changer for
he
Joey
wins,
Spencer.
It's a life changer. He's on the global scene if he wins this. We're going skill for. I think Tim Tszyu should pack him up. I think he's a sniper when he's on. I don't like when he abandons the jab. When he throws the 1-2, just like his father's 1-2, he's a killer.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say Tim Tszyu knocks him out. He's gonna stop him, I think.
Tim Tszyu in 6.
Mm.
Irish Billy Betts. Are you awake? Are you sober? Are you any of these things, or are you sleeping?
I'm all of the good things above.
Is there a line on the Janabek fight? His name is spelled very weird.
Billy's got
the Janabek one. It was minus 650.
And is there an over under?
No, I didn't.
Not yet. B and I both love that over.
Yeah, guy's
Whatever
never been
it
knocked
is.
out
So,
before.
What he's been doing, Billy Betts, Brendo, he doesn't hit me up on Saturday. He must have been sloshed this week. Because
this week, yeah.
See?
Didn't get to you Saturday night.
Look at that answer. Didn't get to you. That's the no sell. He's like, yeah, he was somewhere on a what's the thing called that you lay on outside that goes like this?
Hammock?
He was on a hammock somewhere with the kids.
I was actually the opposite of sober on Saturday as well. So
yeah. Okay.
I got into some Talisker whiskey.
You got to check in on Saturday. Billy Betts got to check in with Tony Taro. What about Tim Tszyu, Joey Spencer, Billy, in Australia?
Tim Tszyu minus 650, and it's 8.5.
I think it gets him out of there in 6.
Yeah, I'm going to say 7.
6th round.
Take the under.
I like the under there, Billy Betts.
I think Joey Spencer's in over his head with that fight.
I want to reiterate for my friend that Brendan has made a point. He's gone out of his way to say after the Akhmadaliev fight, I don't want him in there, man. I want him to clean his mind, body, and soul for a year. I don't right now remember when that fight was.
Right.
So I can't say he's coming back too. But according to how B broke it down after that loss, it's definitely too early.
Yeah, I mean, that fight wasn't that long ago.
I don't remember how long ago it was. I'd say between 4 or 6 months. I don't remember how long.
It was October 19th.
That's not long ago at all.
At all. Like if he came off of a big win and was already coming back, we'd go, oh shit, this is nice. He's turning around pretty quick.
About 5-6 months.
By today's standards, this is not a long. By any standards, this is a short time to come back.
After being destroyed.
After being decapitated.
I don't remember how long Kostya took when Vince Phillips starched him. I don't. It was in 97. I don't know how long he took off before he came back.
I thought it was like a year.
So there you go. B, you and I like the under. Billy, we like the under in this. If it's what, 8.5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we like Tim Tszyu, but Brendan, we can't figure out why they're not letting Billy take the fighter and the over as part of parlays. It's
The one kid who wrote in, or guy said it's like an America thing, like the rules, I guess, of betting on boxing.
okay. Okay. Joe Joyce B. Am I off with the name? Was the original fight Dillian White? And then I said this is better when he
Way better.
pulled
Yeah,
out.
we got a reward here.
Joe Joyce, Philip Hergovich, heavyweight, 10 rounds in the UK, I believe. I think this is better than Joe Joyce, Dillian White.
100%. This is
Dillian
at your spot, Co-op Live.
Yes. Dillian White is
Manchester.
Dillian White is creeping up on Derek Chisora for most shots at big fights and paydays than anyone ever in the UK.
Bro, he shit talked his way into that AJ fight years back.
Yeah, Fury fight. He fought the two biggest stars of the country in what 25 years.
Popped hot, came back. Popped hot, came back. Fuck him. Should be out of the fucking sport forever. Way better fight. We got crossroads here. Hergovich coming off of a loss.
Yes.
Joyce, I don't know what the fuck. Again, the guy looks like he punches underwater. I can't believe he's ever landed a shot.
I can't either.
In a professional boxing match.
Shame on anyone who gets hit by Joe Joyce.
Well, I'll tell you what. If there's someone who's going to get hit by Joe Joyce, it's Philip Hergovich. Right. Hergovich also slow as what you and I always.
These guys are both like they're fighting in a pool underwater.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They fight underwater. Hergovich is 6'6". Joyce is a sneaky 6'6" as well. You don't realize how big
Joyce is stocky, so he looks like that short Tua build, but he's fucking tall too.
But he's the juggernaut. He's a big giant fuck.
Yeah.
So this is two lumbering. This is very much like a early to mid 2000s heavyweight fight of two guys with not a lot of skill.
No, these guys should talk at the presser like me fight you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's least slower is really what we're doing right now, and whose punch resistance is better.
Well, Joyce don't look like he has shit left in terms of punch resistance.
I think this Philip Hergovich packs him up.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Lines and over unders here, Billy, because this is a money making fight, depending on what these lines are for you. I mean, if we're right, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, it's something where you get a little if you're feeling.
I think Joyce is counting lights in the fifth, and I mean counting lights like we get afraid.
Yeah, 10 count. Yeah.
Bill?
Philip is minus 370.
Wow.
8.5.
Wow, a late replacement becomes the favorite.
Yeah, and I'm taking the under. I want to see
what is it, Billy?
8.5.
I like the under. I think it's a 7th round. This Joe Joyce gets packed up.
And you think it's or he's just out? Think he's out?
Boop, boop, boop.
Mouth open.
3-punch combo.
Mouth open. They get worried. Pull the gum shield out of his mouth, and his team revives him.
Jesus, you're getting very dark.
Then you know what I'm sniffing?
Around.
We picked like 3 or 4 winners all in one bet.
He starts getting really hotsy-totsy bingos. What? No. What round? I'm like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we give them as.
He's very specific. All right. We got other heavyweight action from a different part of the world.
Richard Torres Jr.
The Disco King versus Guido.
Please call him by his correct.
Bro, this to me.
Correct nickname, Baba Booey.
Flafathui. This. If you saw this name and the picture of Richard Torres, you would think that this is a fight in 1978 outside of.
I think Billy would put Richard Torres as number 2 of his favorite fighters under Bam if he actually saw Richard Torres.
Yeah.
He's got a curly
look at his face. He's looking right now. We should do a reaction video.
And he's a kid. He looks like a 52-year-old.
Honestly, that dude just dropped me off at soccer.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He looks like he looks like a
Latino mustached Kenny Powers.
He's like the guy, your mom's dating. You know what I'm saying? And he's real cool with you though. You know,
he
like
buys
he's like,
you and your homies beer.
I don't know if he buys you beer, but you know, we're talking younger than that. He has a catch with you. He's nice. But the thing about Richard Torres is he's too nice, you know, and your mom's like, I need a bad boy.
All right, that's a
You
good
know,
picture.
I got to
but
toss him out.
he looks a little more slimy.
Do they call him the gentleman boxer?
He looks a little bit more slimy than that. And
Yeah, dude, that's maybe the most flattering picture I've ever
correct.
seen.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, Billy pulls up a muscle and fitness picture of him. He's probably photoshopped. This Richard Torres versus Guido Vianello, 10 rounds. I'm essentially starting a run that begins now, right? And might never stop of where I just pick whoever he's fighting. Whoever Richard Torres is fighting, I'm going to pick the other guy, I think, from now until one of the three of us croak on this show.
Got a very wide stance.
His stance could not be wider. His shots could not be wider. He's got brute strength, like real strong. Guys, when we say that, there's a difference between boop, boop, knockout.
That
power.
guy's 25, looks like he's 55.
If he's 25, I'm classically handsome. If he's 25, I'm calling Cuba, Dominican Republic on Richard Torres, even though he's supposedly an American. I think someone in the government, he's somebody in the Torres family works for the government.
They held him back. He drove to fuck. That's what he looks like. He looks like the guy who drove to junior high. That's what he looks like.
Yeah. Like when your first day of high school, the guy in the locker next to you, and you go, "Oh, I'm not gonna like high school."
Fuck this guy. And why are you driving?
The dude next to me, 9th grade, the dude's locker next to me had a beard and a glorious bouffant. I'm like, well, yo, I'm gonna die up in this shit.
I don't know why you guys are hating on him so much. I think this mustache is superb.
See,
okay.
I knew that this Richard Torres,
like I said, he just
on the bench.
Yeah, I did. You guys tap shoulders in Philly to get beer? You know, you're standing at the
Looks
the
like
Wawa,
he's growing his bouffant out, the curly bouffant
but it's in the back too. It goes into a mullet.
He's a couple clips away from a full mullet.
Yeah, he is. No, it's a full mullet. You're just not getting the right pick. If you YouTube an actual fight where you see it,
he looks like he bought me a 40. He looks like he bought me a 40 a Crazy Horse in '93.
Yes. Look,
and kept it change.
B said someone's chin is always hanging out there. Was it Joey Spencer?
Yeah,
his chin's hanging out there. He throws wide punches. He attempts to set shots up, but I use the word attempt very loosely.
But we're also talking, guys. He's fighting a guy who's 6'6". He's only 6'2", Torres. He's fighting this massive.
Guido Vianello can fight, by the way, guys. If you think
he just does some things that frustrate me.
He's good.
Does a lot of frustrating things.
He has one. What's he have? One loss to F.A. Ajagba. Is that his one loss? B don't like F.A. Ajagba, so he's looking at that. That loss is the shits, which lends him to maybe want to lean toward Richard Torres. I think F.A. Ajagba is good, so I got to look at that different. This is interesting. This is another one, Billy. Like the Joe Joyce and Philip.
Got 2 losses. He lost to Jonathan Rice.
That's
by TKO.
A bad loss. Yes, and guess what? This is how poorly Jonathan Rice has been managed. Right? He upsets an undefeated heavyweight on the come up. Hasn't fought since then. Poor guy.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Jonathan Rice has a monstrous upset against a highly touted, good-looking Italian kid.
He cut his eye, right?
Yep. That's why I don't. Cut losses are wonky. It's tough to really look. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what is this fight? Richard Torres Jr., Guido Vianello, 10 rounds, Billy.
This is a battle of grease
Richard Torres, minus 220.
All right, so he's like
that's a 2-1.
Like
that's
a 2-1. Yeah, it's close. I'm telling you, this is a disco fight. That's what this is. This is a disco fight, disco brawl.
What song
brawl in a disco
to is what I want to know.
Richard Torres?
I forget.
He has the whole gimmick, dude. He dresses like the 80s. I think he drives like an IROC. Italian retard out cruising.
Have we decided, is Richard Torres representing being Mexican American?
He's Mexican American, but he was an Olympian.
Right.
He's a U.S. Olympian.
The U.S. But I'm saying, does he rep it? Like, is he bilingual? Do we know any of that? Because I'm just trying to
You don't
look
really have an accent.
at the angle of how to make him a star. You know what I mean? Because
There's no angle.
There is no angle.
No. He's
Except-
fighting Guido Vianello.
So you're really shitting on my guy, and I take umbrage with it. This Guido Vianello.
I'm going to pick Guido in this fight.
Outboxes this Richard Torres.
Yeah, let me get to my picks before you go with this fucking.
Well, why do you got to go first all of a sudden?
Because that's what I like to do. First is the worst. There you go. Second is the best. That's what my kids say to each other now.
Richard Torres Jr., Guido Vianello, 10 rounds heavyweights.
It's going the distance. Guido disrupts and upsets him with his style. He's too big. Torres can't get in. Guido wins a. Hey yo. Guido wins a stinker.
This Guido Vianello, jab, 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 get out of there. Jab, jab, put a right hand behind
Here's the issue with Guido. He doesn't get out of there. He like dives in without throwing punches sometimes and frustrates the shit out of me, this Guido. If he just stayed on his stick and bounced around a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. If he keeps that stick and stays on the outside, puts in a right hand to keep this, to be honest.
I think he should be able to jab on top of Fla-Fla Flui's lead right. Fla-Fla Flui is a southpaw.
Yeah.
So I think he can jab over the top, and if he circles to his left and continues to jab, he'll be able to, like you said, hopefully come off with that right. The thing is, he forgets to throw it. He'll go through the whole body motion of throwing a punch, Guido, without throwing a punch.
Without throwing the punch. He sets everything up physically except the shot.
Fucking greaseball. Yeah, I go, I'm watching this guy. I'm like, you fucking dumb bastard. Oof, you fucking stunat. You fucking throw the right hand, you fucking meathead.
This Richard Torres' head looks like a bobblehead from the jab. If this Guido Vianello puts a right hand behind it, like we want him to, it's even more easier. But if he this
is a very dangerous fight for Richard Torres.
It is. If he jabs and moves to his left, this is an easy fight for him. If he jabs and rolls to his left, jabs and rolls to his left, and keeps moving to his left, and keeps him and keeps Richard Torres on the pivot. It's not.
He's got what he should do is, because Richard Torres is he's another like Tasmanian devil kind of guy. He's a million punches. Get Torres to burn out. And just stay outside. And Torres is gonna have to work so much harder to get in than Guido is from the outside.
And he needs to make him pay, B, when he gets inside. Yeah. And that's what you're saying. He needs to let that right hand go.
But he doesn't. He's a fucking dope.
So they need to let him know that.
I got to talk to this Guido.
Yeah, let's get him on the phone before Saturday.
Sit down. Come here.
Irish Billy Betts.
You got to go home. We're not anymore.
Pergovich, the over. I think it's an SD. A split decision. Someone turns in a fucking card that should get them fired.
A turd card?
Yes. I think it's a 96-94 fight, 97-93 fight, 96-94, and someone turns in a wonky card for this Baba Booey.
You got to tell Guido.
You're picking Guido.
I'm picking Guido and the over.
Over Fla-Fla Flui. And you got to tell him, Guido, you got to go home.
On the undercard. Lindolfo Delgado, 22-0, 16 KOs. Fun fighter.
Yep.
Versus Elvis Rodriguez, 17-1, 13 KOs.
Good one.
It's my prediction that this is going to be the fight of the weekend.
Yeah, these two are going to beat the fucking balls off each other.
The closest to a 50-50 fight of everything we've talked about, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, it's the closest to a 50-50 fight. I'm dying to hear the odds here.
What do you got? Anything, Bill? Is there anything on this one?
Yeah, I don't have the rounds, but Delgado -145.
So they're calling this close to even. I mean, Elvis Rodriguez is good, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
He's really good.
Tune in, and we got who are you picking? I'm gonna say Delgado. You in a fucking bloody 10-round UD.
Delgado, fight of the weekend. Split decision, and this puts him on the map. Now we know him, but I mean on the map for the rest of the world, and gets a real fight at 140 off of the heels of this.
Abdullah Mason's fighting Carlos Ornelas. This is a tough test
Guys,
for him.
Abdullah Mason is the Pazzi prospect that's most stamped, in my opinion. He's the
Mhm.
best in the whole sport of the Pazzi prospects.
Best Pazzi prospect.
He sits at number 1, and number 2 is not really that close. Um, some people are already off the train because he got clipped and went
Mhm.
down. So they
I'm
already
kind of
question
those people are silly.
Carlos Orneas, 28-4, been stopped 3 of those 4 times of those
Yeah.
losses, 10 rounds. I think Abdullah packs him up. Is there an over under here, Billy?
He hasn't fought since last December.
I don't have an over under, but yeah, Mason's like minus 5,000. I saw.
We
Yeah,
gotta
this
get
is
the
gonna be
over
a
under
quick one.
there, Billy. That's
Yeah.
huge. He's gonna pack him up, even if it's low, Bill. You know, unusually low. I'm like, he might get packed up in the first or second.
You guys want to
This
see
kid's the
some?
best. This is the best non-star in the fight. The best,
Correct.
the best non.
I think this is going to be a good little showcase for him. I think he's going to beat the balls off him.
I don't know
It's going to be
when
violent. It's
call
going to
it.
be quick.
Yes, I don't know what one is going to be his coming out party, and if this is going to be on. Is this going to be on ESPN, or is this going to be on the undercards? Because I don't think they did Shushu any favors. That should have been on ESPN,
Sure.
in my opinion. They said 10 o'clock.
And he can talk.
Michaela Mail, his promo was brilliant.
Yep.
Him and Kriegel clearly have a father and son thing going on.
Yep.
He clearly cares about Shushu.
Sure. I mean, everybody from New York loves that kid. So
I love
a
that
New York
kid
guy.
Right. Whether I do or not and think he's a special fighter is different. I think he's a great kid. I think he's great for the sport.
He's been around forever.
Yes.
Walked Mike Tyson out.
Yes.
Also on the card, I just wanted to give a shout out to a local guy here. You've probably seen him. Exciting fighter. I hope he can tamper in some of his instincts, because his instincts are just to fight. Jahi Tucker is on this card.
Yeah, I love Jahi Tucker. I did not know he was on this card. I love that kid.
He's tough as nails. He's a Deer Park, Long Island guy. He trains out of the Brentwood Rec, home of Buddy McGirt, and Suffolk PAL. So shout out to those guys at Suffolk PAL. Abraham Medrano, shout out to Abe Medrano, guys I know.
Look, his only loss is an MD to that Nicholas Flaz.
They beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, 8-rounder, beat the shit out of each other. Could have gone either way. Because he's from where he's from. You know, I always say Jahi Tucker, but again, Deer Park via Queens.
Yeah,
he's really skilled.
I guess he's like Deer Park, Wyandanch, Brentwood. They're all sort of right next to each other. So
brothers from Brentwood, Long Island.
Brothers from Brentwood, Long Island. Yeah, he trains out of Brentwood, but he's all over the place over here.
Yeah, I like him as well. He's only 22 years old. So again, that loss, guys. Look, not all losses are the same, guys.
Right.
Know?
I just get concerned with him that he stays in the pocket too much, and he can be. He's too tough for his own good. You guys have heard that term.
Yeah.
He comes to fight, so it's going to be fun
he's fighting that guy Troy Williamson who fought what's his name that we always Josh Kelly.
Yeah.
Josh Kelly, who looks who is the UK Ryan Garcia. Videos of him doing everything that look incredible except when he's in the ring.
Right.
He looks like the fastest human ever. Very Ben Whitaker-ish.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Oh my God, this guy's the fastest. Look at this. He just posted him doing some shit today, B.
Some razzle dazzle with the heavy bag.
Yes, Josh Kelly showing his head movement and he's dancing around the
very
bag.
athletic.
Super athletic, but it's the Broner thing. What go for you?
Right.
What do you got? So
and
put together.
Pro Box is in your town.
Yes, it's in South Philly at the ECW Arena, now called the 2300 Arena. Look, Troy Williamson, that Jahi Tucker's fight could fight a little bit. Guys. Should be a good little
fight.
Be a
good fight. Also, out of that area, I don't know if you guys are aware at home or those of you that listen, if anybody's local here, there is a family of related to Errol Spence. These guys are cleaning up out of the same gym as Tucker. So keep a lookout in the next 5 years. This is we're still doing this show, that there will be some guys with the last name Spence that are related to Errol Spence. He's originally from up here.
Correct.
So Obviously, this is paternal relatives.
I know
And
people from the island, right? That
yeah,
are so diehard that they try to claim Arrow
They
just
try-
off that. I'm like,
just off
my
that.
guy, stop the man.
So they have a good squad. So this Jai Tucker, the point I'm making is he is getting the sparring and the work and everything that he needs. I've seen him spar in person at Westbury.
Yeah, he's good.
He's real good. All right, we got some mail. Ready?
No. Good night.
Did that bother me?
Bye, guys.
No, but you fuck. We got greetings from Wisconsin. Vinny B and Billy.
Mhm.
His name is Ibrahim from Madison by way of Milwaukee here. Longtime listener, first time emailer.
Ibrahim, what up, bro?
He says, love the show, great analysis, insightful perspective, and the banter is hilarious and relatable. You guys keep the sport fresh for me and put me on a lot of boxers. Shout out Oscar Collazo and Charles Conwell. All right.
Yes.
All right. I love hearing that stuff. He says, a couple of thoughts I want to share and get your thoughts on. First, I don't think Canelo gets enough flack for doping. Never mind that he actually lost the first 2 fights to Triple G. I had Triple G winning the second, but I'd be okay with a draw. But I have to say he got so much shine after testing positive for denbuterol. I don't buy the excuse of tainted meat. That excuse was used by the Mexican soccer team 7 years prior to the Triple G versus Canelo rematch. In 2018, Canelo was in the upper echelon of athletes around the world. I find it hard to believe he didn't know the name of the cow he was eating. The way athletes take care of what goes into their bodies. I used to be a Canelo fan, but now I find it hard to cheer for him, and I'm half Mexican. I kind of sway
Back and forth.
on that. The one thing I will say is the Reynosos are butchers by trade. I also agree. Like, you don't know what you're putting in your body. You're 100 million plus athlete.
Yeah, you're the most famous in the athlete in the world. I guess if Floyd was
Right.
still active then, I don't remember. But you
Right.
know, yeah. For the argument, sake of argument, at the time you were the face of the sport with
Right.
Floyd on his way out.
Right.
Hey, I'm gonna say something real quick to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, Eric Kelly, who was a star in the amateurs,
mhm.
New York boxing guy, friend of mine, knows everyone. B and his crew know him too. He has never backed off of it. So if you want to see someone,
Yeah, go there, follow Eric Kelly.
follow EK on it's like Eric Kelly Boxing, I believe. But
Yeah.
regardless of people who are vocal about it, Paul
He
Malignaggi
hates Canelo.
hates him, and it's because of this.
Right.
But Paul Malignaggi is vocal about every drug cheat consistently. There's a consistency in Paul.
Yeah.
Eric Kelly is consistent with his hatred of Canelo and Canelo being a drug cheat. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I agree with Ibrahim.
Yeah.
I think there has been
He does kind of get a pass.
a pass.
Yeah.
And we
wasn't there
contribute
like
to
a
it.
following test though that they proved the test was something blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
but I don't know that I
keep
believe that.
I just can't keep up with it.
Yeah, but we're guilty of it too because we.
So he says he goes further and says keeping the Canelo hate going. I'm with Vinny thinking Bud beats him when they fight. I feel like Canelo struggles with fighters with good footwork and hand speed. I had Amir Khan winning 4-1 before getting knocked out. I feel Amir Khan was a great boxer, and Bud is on an even higher level, and his chin isn't as suspect. I feel Bud can take some notes from those first few rounds and execute even better and get a decision W. Anyway, keep up the great work. My drive to work is much more enjoyable listening to the podcast. P.S. One of my favorite Vinny Paz bars is Vinny walk around with bags of dust like a vacuum. Peace, Ibrahim. All right.
Thanks, Ibrahim. Hermano.
Thank you.
Appreciate you listening, man. I agree, by the way, with Bud's gonna beat him in September.
Interesting. I don't know.
He's gonna do it
Waiting to make
handily.
Dave. Oh man, David Botger writes. What's up,
Why
Dave?
did you do it on man?
Because I'm butchering his name.
That.
Yeah.
You're a little bit slower with names.
Sorry. No, you're better at it.
Well,
fellas, loving the new cadence of releasing a new episode every week. It's not really new anymore. It's like 16 months of us
Boy,
releasing.
you're being a jerk to this kid?
No.
First you chop his name into bits and then you kill him for a
I
compliment.
just realized how that sounded after I said it.
What a
Sorry, Dave.
jerk.
Dave, let me
I
apologize
apologize.
for the bottom of my heart. No, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant when is it? He Larry David me in terms of saying Happy New Year. Like ah. Anyway, loving the new cadence of releasing a new episode every week, and also blessing us with a classic banger after each weekly dialogue. That's Vinny. That's all Vinny and Pablo. I want to thank you on behalf of the real boxing fans out there for your hard work. Thanks, Dave. Briefly, I want to let any potential sponsors listening out there, I'm looking at you, gambling sites, that y'all have a golden opportunity sponsoring these two fine gentlemen in their endeavor to generate some additional revenue, support their families, and wheel in some money from these degenerate boxing fans like myself. Yeah, I think, did Dave just become our agent? I think he did.
Yes.
All right, excellent. He said,
I think some things are on the burner, right? Some things are cooking.
We're trying.
Yeah, there's some
We'll
things
see.
that are gonna happen soon, guys. Some
Soon.
news. We're just
Anyways,
trying to get it together.
oh, we're a bunch of fucking idiots. Anyway, says, I can't even talk to a guy who's writing us nice stuff. He says,
Well, yeah, because you were being a creep.
fuck, what an asshole.
What a jerk.
Says, anyways, the reason for my write-in this week is regarding boxing scoring and what can be done to keep more people honest and accountable. Let me start by saying that bad scoring is how do you pronounce this word? Scourge?
Scourge.
Scourge
Uh-huh.
on the sport, and it's reached epidemic levels. The tank fight was the latest in a long list of recent decisions that underpin that. Here's my question. What can be done? Would an open scoring system be a good idea? By this, I mean announce the scores as the fight goes on after every round so the fighters and spectators are aware of the score, and most importantly, who is scoring each round for who in real time. I think you'd have to lock these judges in like the Pope Mobile glass.
The bodega glass?
Yeah, it would. It ain't nothing get through that.
No.
It would change course. It would change the course of the fights for sure. But imagine that a football team goes into the last quarter not knowing what the score is. It's a bit backwards, in my opinion. Regardless, what do you guys think about that? Are there any other solutions you have thought of? Keep up the great work. Cheers, Debo. And Debo, I apologize. I didn't mean to come off like a fucking jerk off.
Debo, I have to apologize for this fucking low life disgrazia that I do a show with.
Oh, now you sound like my mother. I don't, Dave, Debo, I don't disagree with your ideas. I think they're all good. I think that there is, a myriad of ideas that could happen. Like you said, we spitball ideas. What is the reason that they're against open scoring? Why do I always hear that it can further complicate things? What does it complicate? I mean, for instance, I'll give in reference to Bud in our last, a callback to our last letter. One of the things that motivated Bud to knock Sean Porter out was that his corner said to him, I think we're down. Going into that last round, and Bud stopped, I believe it was the 11th, Bud stopped Porter. I think it might make for more exciting fights, but tell me why I'm wrong. Do you have, anything that you could think of, Vin?
Look, it's not, here's the answer that I give when people ask me, excuse me, about open scoring, right? We've seen it before.
Right. We've seen it. Yes. It's been done.
It's not, a what if. It's not, could this save the sport? Could this change the sport? I remember the times.
Why is it universally panned?
That's a really good question.
That's my question.
Does it take away the aspect of the sport that when something goes to the cards? Is that?
I think the fear is this. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I can answer my own question, I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, absolutely not.
Are they worried that if a guy is mathematically winning and will continue to win the fight, he'll just run the rest of the fight? Meaning, let's hypothetically say 6-0
Sure.
in a 10-round fight.
Right. You got to win. Right. Yeah, it's over.
He's not going to fight the last 4 rounds.
Correct. Are you saying they, meaning sanctioning bodies, meaning
sanctioning bodies, TV,
I'll tell
promoters?
You, I'm thinking that. If
Right.
someone that we just brought up a situation that could be a boxing lesson, could be in Guido Vianello.
Right.
So he's up 7-1 after 8. Well, what do you think?
And he just goes into the Princeton offense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
he just downs the football.
There has to be you have to see some validity in that argument.
Okay.
The other side is you have to see some validity in the argument for Torres to start throwing fucking everything but the kitchen sink at this Vianello to try to get him out of there.
What about a compromise?
Which would be?
Every round scored, they have to put that into a machine, and someone from the commission, non-biased, has to review every. So if we're going, if we're seeing a fucking beatdown in the 3rd round, and judge, name a fucking judge, Glenn Feldman scores it for the guy who caught the beatdown. We go, whoa, what the fuck is Glenn Feldman doing? What the fuck is he watching tonight? How did the other two have this for one guy? It was an obvious round. And then they go and do they tap Feldman on the shoulder right there?
Well, that would be my question to you. How do you rectify a bad card just because you're watching it in real time?
I don't know. Do they have a trap door? He goes into a moat with gators?
If you put Glenn Feldman into a moat who has someone up 4-0 who got drubbed for 4 rounds, you should just drop into the
drop him in.
If that's the compromise you're talking about, I'm in. Or you're live watching the bad card and then he's out of there.
They just hit him with the fucking with the hook, at the Apollo. Sandman
Sims comes out, hooks you by the neck with the cane.
That's it. You're out.
Yeah, you're out.
So I think I used to be the executive board representative for my union, right? Mm-hmm. And I would say to guys, we can't. There's no simple solutions for complicated problems. Right.
Yeah.
So we can all sit here and be in an armchair about they should just do this and that would work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And simple solutions for complicated problems are never, because there's always holes in them. Right. They're like Swiss cheese.
Correct.
We just Swiss cheesed our own argument.
Right. As we will with every argument for scoring and how to affect it. Mine would be 3 judges that used to be former fighters or current trainers. People without no stakes in said event.
They all have stakes though.
Right.
Because the promoters get the judges.
Right.
Put them up in a hotel. Give them the stipends for the weekend.
I think did we cover this on air, or were we talking about?
I found out what they get paid, like the big guys, like Glenn Feldman.
Right, and
relax, $10,000 a weekend.
You made me take a guess, and I was so far off that
I was so far off until I heard that, and I went, "They make what?"
Yeah,
and they said a lot of these guys are practicing attorneys that make good money as lawyers or in their professional life, and will take time away from their family, friends, and otherwise to go spend 3 days judging fights.
And let's shoot a hole in my own theory real quick before we move on. Right? I say ex-fighters, how many times have we said, you hear this bozo's card when we're talking about Tim Bradley or Sean Porter?
Yeah.
This is with a bad card. And
bad card.
Ex-champions, not just ex-fighters, ex-champions. And I'm saying, look, you're sequestered like Jory. You're in 3 separate rooms and you're watching on a monitor with no, you know what I mean? That
would also weed out the incentive-laden stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. We can just keep shooting.
Yeah. All right. So let's
right in when you. Look. I've always said there should be 3 sequestered judges. How do we pick the judges? That can be opened up, but I think they should be sequestered in rooms alone with a monitor. If you've been to fights live, guys, you're seeing a different fight.
Right. You know what though? There's look, if the NBA judges can be corrupted, NBA referees can be corrupted. You know what I mean? And that's a very
Yeah, I mean,
organized
look at
sport.
the NFL with Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like,
Correct.
you're not gonna forget the jokes about it. It went from
It's
jokes and
obvious.
memes to being like, oh no, this is real. This is a
Yeah.
real thing. This guy's the star of the league and will be for another 10, 15 years. Protect him at all
All
costs.
costs.
And,
Well,
and to think
right.
he's
Well,
not going,
it's Brady's retired. We need the heir apparent.
yes. And when you have
People like winners.
when you have the human element in anything, corruption is
Corruptible.
open. It
It's
doesn't
corruptible.
matter. Yes, we do say things like, yo, the Eagles can't avoid playing a certain team because they don't want to. That is true. But at the same time, things like you can't lose you can't be up 28-7 and lose the game. In boxing, you can.
You can, right. All right. Let's close this thing up. Thanks for writing. Guys, the rest of you write us at kodbboxing@gmail.com. You can find me at I_know_that_kid on IG. Find us at KOTB Boxing on IG. Write us at I just said at KOTBboxing@gmail.com. YouTube KOTB Podcast. Vinny.
JMTstore.com. New Musica, the new album, April 25th, God Sent Vengeance. Pre-orders at jmtstore.com.
Thursday.
Thursday. The 3rd.
Yeah. At Box Cutter Pazzi on IG. At Vinny_Paz on Twitter. I probably talk the most boxing shit on there. I probably post more videos and stuff, obviously, on IG, but I talk more about it to mealy mouth pussies on Twitter. New video dropping soon. Billy just sent me a rough cut of it, so I'm gonna check it now. Just
Nice.
keeping y'all that we shot one, and I'm checking the edit, all of that.
Guys, follow us on IG, and remember to review and like and all that
Comment.
stuff. Comment. It
All that
feeds the
stuff
algorithm.
matters, guys, and it helps
Matters.
the algorithm. I'm also tempted. Look, of the fights this weekend, Tim Tszyu's probably the most well-known. So you'll probably see Tim Tszyu on the little flyer for our thing. But because of Richard Torres' mustache and Kenny Powers' hair, I'm tempted to put him on there just for Billy and for everyone who doesn't know Richard Torres.
We could do a second.
Right.
cover.
What do we call the alternative covers?
We'll do it. Yeah.
Alternate
A variant.
cover?
We'll have a variant.
A variant for this episode. All right, guys. Have a good week. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace. Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.